Hi, Cindy Skalicki here with On Point Communications. Today I want to give a few tips on how to build great slides. A lot of posts I've shared recently have been about the content on slides and how they can be improved if we just put a little extra thought into those slides. So I want to walk through an example today, a progression, if you will, of a slide that might have just recently been considered, and then how to take it through the process to the end. So we're going to take pride in our slides today, and let's get started. So this is an example of my first slide that is about practicing a speech, okay? So you're gonna get a little 2-for-1 here today, how to do great slides and how to practice, right? This slide has 2 tips on it. 1, practicing your speech is really important. Number 2, after you practice, then you rehearse. So you can see this might be something I would have cut and pasted from a document of mine, and that's oftentimes how we begin to build our slide decks, right? We grab content from something else, a report, a previous speech, something on the internet, and we just plug it right into the slide. But you can see that this is a little bit busy and we have a blank white background, so let's spice it up. In the next slide iteration, you can see that I've added some color, okay? I've added some color. I've actually added a 3rd item because I know that people think in 3s, and so I went ahead and included visualizing as part of the way to consider rehearsing speeches, okay? But let's take a look. We've got, large font here, large font on the number 2. I don't have a number 3. I've got bullets to separate ideas, but when you're in the audience looking at this, it is a lot of text, right? There has to be a way for me to really dumb down these words to make it more visually impactful. So what we want to do here is recognize that we have too much text and what should we do next. I also am not quite a fan of the color scheme. I like color, it's different, it's making it better than white, but what could we do next to make this really sing? And so here's kind of the 3rd piece that we've got, our 3rd option. We've really refined the slide at this point on the 3rd version. I've created a new title that's a little catchier, Practice Makes Perfect, okay? And then down the side, I've just really kept to the key points. I lost the numbers and I have practicing, rehearsing, and visualizing down the side. And I have notations underneath each one to guide the audience about what I'm going to say with them, okay? Now, I've also included an image. This is an image of me actually doing a little bit of rehearsing before a workshop, and it adds a little bit of personal touch and professional touch as well. But let's go ahead and consider what it looks like to deliver the slide. Okay, now that we've got the nice font size, the content is good, it's clean, it's under 25 words on the slide. When I'm up on the stage and I want to deliver this slide, I don't want to put all of this up at one time. And the reason is people will read it from top to bottom all at once, and I don't have control over what I want to do. And this is what I want to do, okay? Let's go to the next slide. I want to start fresh with this slide, and all it says is practice makes perfect. At this point, if I'm on the stage, I'm going to tell my audience about this image and where I was, how even I have to rehearse and practice things, and that's the content of the slide we're going to go through. With another click, I'm going to introduce practicing. I'm going to talk about what practicing means. It's practicing by yourself in a room by yourself in front of a mirror, or when you're driving, or when you're walking your dog, and I might share an anecdote or 2. The purpose of practicing is to get the speech out of your mouth, so it's not just in your head, and it's not just something that you're reading. You need to get the sound out. Okay. Then with another click, I will teach people about rehearsing and what the difference is between practicing and rehearsing. When you rehearse, you're practicing with someone else in the room, at least one other person. Okay, and what makes this better and different is that it's more like you're performing your speech now. You are actually having the experience of giving that talk to others, and it makes your heart rate go up a little bit when there are other people in the room, even if you're just trying to practice, okay? The next thing I do with my audiences is teach them how to rehearse without rehearsing, and that includes some techniques that I have about recording your speech, certain sections of your speech, why that's important. So I'm going to talk my audience through that last piece before moving on to the next piece. With my third and final click, I have visualizing, and this I'll spend a couple more minutes on. This is for a workshop that I give, and I'm going to teach people the reasons that visualizing works and how athletes use it, and I'm going to teach a little bit about that and maybe even involve them. I'll talk about how, when, and why speakers should visualize and what the impact can be for you mentally in terms of your self-confidence before you get on the stage. So this is one of my slides that I use, and I can run through this quickly if it's some kind of shorter talk, or as I said in a workshop, I can do more with this with a couple stories here or there. But the building piece, when I build the slide, it lends for more of that kind of style when it comes to delivering the slide. So today we went from this, which is too small, too boring, too much, okay, to this, a little cleaner, much more interesting, personalized, professional, easy to read, and something that I can build. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson today, and I encourage you to go back and maybe pause on some of the slides that you would like to read more so that you can take a look at the differences in each iteration. And of course, I encourage you to contact me for more videos like this or for any help that you need with your speaking engagements that are coming up. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed that lesson.